Welcome back to Terra, Topia, and the action continues here in the final round of the TRP National Motocross Championships. And the heat is on in the championships as well as on the day, and lots of crowd looking for as much shade as they can get because it's over the 33 degrees Celsius mark, and it definitely means it's going to be intense when the racing happens out on track. Another big crowd puller, of course, this weekend is courtesy of Monster Energy and Yamaha, and out of Africa, Ryan Villapoto. Great to have the international superstar out here, and great to have him signing autographs. We'll see him on track and catch up with him a bit later. Let's get back on circuit though and look forward to the 65cc's. Is Neil van der Vyver going to wrap up this championship here today and take another victory in his impressive career in motocross? Stepping up from the 50cc's along with Trey Cox, Thor Johnson, Garrel, Liam Buerta, Blade Tilley and Jack Pullen, and now all looking for honours in 65cc's. Out the gates they're going up towards Bridgestone Corner. First turn, looks like there's going to be some action already as they get up and around the outside. What a start coming out of Emile Crusay. Damon Garrel went on the outside as well. The Zimbabwean though had a phenomenal start. Out front, it looks like it's Louis Mostert who might have got the whole shot as they go down into turn 2 and head back down into FMF. Starting to sort things out. Watch out for Van der Vyver. He's on the 18 bike. But a good start there from Trey Cox as he leads things out now as they get to the bottom of the hill. Right on his tail is Van der Vyver. So the two arch rivals in this championship are now going at it for the final time in 2019. As they come through there, you can see them sorting things out. There's Damon Garrel. And Garrel putting the pressure onto Liam Buerta. Buerta's up there as well with Blade Tilley. Good start there from Blade. But at the front end, Trey Cox is commanding things and looking to try and take this victory. The championship is all about Van der Vyver. If he can just stay upright, that'll be his. The number 1 plate will head to the Q for Fuels Husqvarna team. Nice run there from Jack Pullen as he makes his way through. Damien Fenter's on his outside, and so is Mostert. Nickel Smith starting to close things down there a little bit as well. And all of a sudden, there could be a big chance there for Smith to get a top 5 finish here today. Damon Garrel, though, is fighting hard. He wants that top 5, and at this stage, he's got big pressure being put onto him. And Matthew Correa starting to fight for the bottom end of the top 10. Oh, rider down. A little bit of an issue there on the sideline. 3-1-1. It's Emile Crusay who's crashed out, and I think he might be injured. That's his dad, fortunately, right there to help him out. Let's see if we can get him back up again, but it looks like the youngster might have just gone over that berm and hurt himself. A bit of assistance on the sideline, but he eventually gets back there. He's going to be able to get back on the bike, though. Quick kickstart of that Yamaha, and off he goes. Front end, change up for the lead. Van der Vyver's hit the front, and he's got ahead of Cox. So Trey Cox now going to have to settle for second place by the looks of things. Big battle expected here between Garrel and Johnson. This time out though, it's Johnson in 4. Behind them comes Jack Pullen. And front end now, it is the Layat machine and that Q for Fuels Husqvarna man riding away. Neil van der Vyver looking to wrap up this championship with the final victory of the season as well. Is there a change here again? No, this time out, Damon Garrel still ahead. But Thor Johnson is coming quickly. Johnson on a fly as they head down the hill. Behind that, they're starting to line up. Louis Mostert fighting hard there with a 1:14. Damien Fenter. Fenter going a little bit quicker. He's just set one of his personal best lap times around the circuit and has closed in on Mostert. Cox trying to do the same thing on Van der Vyver, but it's not happening. Van der Vyver's controlling things. Garrel also keeping Johnson behind, but Thor Johnson certainly wants a way past and is looking for a third spot and possibly a spot on the podium. Hasn't quite got there yet, but a little bit of work to be done now in the closing stages here of the final race of 2019 65cc's. They go up into twin air. Here comes the move, 1:14, slowly but surely. Damien Fenter has a big incident into this turn, just into the motel corner. They just got the front wheel onto that inside rut, and it just caught him out. The slightly smaller wheels, remember, do take a bit of strain on the big track. Yellow flag down as well in the background, and Liam Buerta is the man who's crashed out. Fortunately, hasn't lost any positions on track, but he has lost a lot of ground, and that means that he's going to be losing ground there, of course, to Damon Garrel and to Thor Johnson. It's not what he wanted. Not at this stage of the race. That is for sure. Back end of the field, and you can see them starting to have some fun and games amongst themselves there. Kasim Hassim having a great run in the top 20 there. Having a fantastic run is Blade Tilley. He's now up ahead of Fenter. Fenter looking for a way to come back at him off that little crash. Let's see if he can get all together. And he's kept it upright, fortunately, there through that corner. Front end, though, continues there between Cox and Van der Vyver. Good to see Kaijo Takio on the 94 bike also starting to make his way to the front end, nearly up into the top 10. But no one's going to catch the man out front looking for this championship, Neil van der Vyver. Cox has pushed him hard, but they're coming to the closing stages now and down towards the river. It's the big left-hand sweep, and is he going to be troubled? I don't think so. Continued battle there for the third spot, and it's changed up. Thor Johnson has got through. Johnson's got ahead of Garrel, and all of a sudden Liam Buerta's back into the mix after crashing out. Can you imagine if he had one more lap? Buerta could have been in there. Mostert still continuing to fly hard there and doing a superb job. Oh, problems right in the closing stages once again for Matthew Correa. He crashes out, but here comes the win and the championship. Cooper Fuels Husqvarna and Neil van der Pfeiffer going to take the 2019 65cc championship. With that victory, he takes the overall win on the day as well, ahead of Trey Cox. Thor Johnson in third with Jack Pullen, Damon Garrell and Blade Tilly. A good ride from Nicholas Smith and Louis Mostert in the Vision Racing team. A phenomenal season on the 65cc sees Neil van der Pfeiffer at the top of the podium and the top of the championship. Let's catch up with him.
Yeah, I'm very happy. We worked hard all year long, and we're happy to take the championship and happy to build on to next year.
Certainly a man to watch out for in the future, particularly if he's going to be moving up into this category. We get into the Premier class now with MX1s. The championship is on a knife edge and very, very close. We've got 3 riders in with a chance of wrapping it up here today. Matty Milan is one of them. The other one is Tristan Purdon, and with an outside chance, look out for Lloyd Verkale. 5-second board comes up. Gates drop. Great start from Purdon. He goes side by side there, and look at that. David Goosen trying to force Verkale out into turn 1, but it looks like Tristan Purdon might have just got the whole shot there. No. What a start at the front end there from Matty Milan. Coming from that inside gate, he managed to squeeze them out into Bridgestone corner, and he leads out down into the bottom towards the river. Purdon up to second place. Verkale is third. This is the championship battle at the front end, exactly how it stands here in the championship coming into this round. The one outside factor is going to be a big move here from David Goosen if he can get through there. Nice chopping and changing. Oh, and the 27 bike. I was about to say, Kevin Moran having a look on the inside of Cam Oudendal and definitely had a chance, but unfortunately went down there on the second gear Kawasaki. I think he might have injured his hand there. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Just went down in a very awkward position. Front end, though, is all about Milan. Getting away now from Purdon. Cooper Fuels Husqvarna. Red Bull KTM. It's the Summit Racing Yamaha on their tail. Then out of Africa, Monster Energy Yamaha. Side by side there in the background with Blake Goodsight. Good to see him back in motocross. Using it for a little bit of training for the Roof of Africa. But he's definitely up for the challenge. There's no doubt about it. And fighting hard there with Oudendal and Adam Back. Dylan Mostert in there as well. Good start from him. Let's see if he can get that Honda of his a little bit higher up. But right now, they're all trying to close down on Milan. Purdon in second place, just giving himself a bit of a roost gap. Look at the amount of pressure being applied onto the second Yamaha here by the man from out of Africa Yamaha and Monster Energy, David Goosen. Good run here from the 1-2-1 as well of Dylan Mostert. He's right on Goosen's tail. Much better outing for him this season and looking very good for 2020. Giving it 100% as they get up to the 100% section. But Verkale is losing a little bit of ground there to Purdon, and he's being reeled in by Goosen. Goosen is not far off the back end, that is for sure. Adam Back with a good run there and looking for a top 8. At this stage, it is Goosen and Verkale, the battle of proper on circuits for third place and possibly third place in the championship. Goosen, remember, had a couple of injuries through the season. He's had some good rounds. This man is just not letting anybody get close to him. He wants the championship, and Matty Milan is showing them way around Terra Topia. If it stays exactly as it is right now with Tristan Purdon in second place, he's going to have a 2-point advantage over Matty Milan going into the second heat of the day. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Whoa, what's gone down here? Cam Oudendal off track and down into a big rut of some nature. That's not what he wanted, that is for sure. Milan is doing it all right, hanging on to the lead, looking back every now and again just to see who's behind him. At this stage, it's Purdon. But there's big pressure coming from the back end from Verkale and Goosen on Tristan Purdon. Purdon looking now to try and just consolidate. And he's got to finish second here to stay that 2 points ahead. But remember, the championship is still very much up for grabs. And one of the things is going wrong. It's definitely going wrong for third. Here we go. Goosen getting up the inside. And is it a new Yamaha in third place? Yes, it is. Out of Africa Monster Yamaha gets up there and into third place, just ahead of that Summit Racing machine. So Lloyd Verkale's got some work to do now. Look at how hard Purdon is trying, though. He's trying to close that gap down, and he's actually reeled in Milan a little bit. Milan has lost that advantage slightly. This could be a bit of a change up here. This could be very interesting indeed. How is this ride from Mostert? Where is this coming from? Dylan has found something special here today, that is for sure. Great to see the big H up there as well. But the big H out front is the Husqvarna, and look at the gap now. Purdon is right there. Tristan Purdon is closing down on Milan. Milan can feel the pressure. He's seeing the boards. There you can see Kevin Moran just battling a little bit. I think he's actually broken his finger. So he's just battling to hang on to that Kawasaki of his. Opening up the door and allowing the 2 leaders to go through. Good riding there from one of the back markers and one of our top contenders here in the top 10 finish here potentially for that Kawasaki machine. Well, the Monster Energy man is now hitting that big monster double. That's about a 30-meter double there. It's a big, big jump they've got to hit there. Right on his tail. He's lost a little bit of ground. It's Verkale. So Verkale now maybe just settling for top 3 in this championship. He knows he probably hasn't got the same kind of pace. This is a great ride coming out of Blake Goodsight there too. Fantastic to have him back into motocross. as I said, using it a little bit. There we can see a bit of chopping and changing as well as Goosen starts to go. Where's Purden? I think Purden's crashed out. Yeah, look at that. The fly kit is all dirty. He's gone down somewhere on track and he's moved down to third place. They are on equal points now, Matty Milan and Tristan Purden, that finished his race as they are. Goosen's been gifted a second place here, there's no doubt about it. He's certainly going to wrap it up here and look for some more gifts if possible, and maybe put a bit more pressure onto the front end and see if he can get a mistake out of Milan. Look at this on the sideline, they're just itching. They know how important this championship is. Coming to the line though, Matty Milan's done it all right. He's taken the victory, and that's what he needs to do. 2 victories today, and just make sure that Tristan Purden is behind him. Purden is not second, it's Goosen who's second. Which means Tristan Purden, with that third spot, now goes equal points with Matty Milan into the final race of the season. Milan taking the victory, Goosen in second and Purden in third. Good ride from Fakal in fourth, that'll secure his third place overall. Good sight, Cameron Oudendal, Kevin Moran, and Adam Back to top 8. Let's catch up with Matty and see what his plans are as he heads into a very, very crucial final heat.
On the line now, last race, everyone in the winner takes it, so I'm going to go back, get focused, get rehydrated and come out and try to do that again.
Welcome back to Terra, Topia, the final round of TRP National Motocross, and how awesome is it to have Ryan Villapoto in the house? Multiple AMA Supercross and Motocross champion, the only man to win the $1 million shootout. This is certainly a big, big coup here for the final round of TRP. And a little demonstration lap, or a couple there from Ryan Villapoto. Remember, he's still battling with that injury, so he's just out there to show you what it's all about. And Rob Portman caught up with him down in pit lane after the demos.
Right, here we are then with Ryan Villapoto. I just said 16 million time AMA Supercross champion. It seems like you've dominated over there all the way from Fortuna, California, America. Come out here, you brought some beautiful weather with you. Tell us your experience, what you're doing in South Africa and what you think of it so far.
Yeah, it's actually been a lot of fun. I left the States, I left LA on the 13th and made my way over this way. So got to spend some time, experience South Africa, was in Zimbabwe and Vic Falls, and did all the tourist things. And now I'm here with Guy and everybody that's helped him out and helped me get here. It's been a lot of fun. You guys are awesome crowd, and thanks for coming out and watching me ride around slow.
It wasn't too bad. You were giving us some nice whips in that out there. I would have drilled you, and our youngsters would have drilled you. There's no doubt about that. But
Totally.
Coming and enjoying our stake. And what do you think of the racing? I mean, this is our top national riders. I'm pretty sure you've just seen Ethan Williamson won it in the 50s, 65s, was all about Neil van der Vyver. We've got some serious talent here in South Africa, and of course our big boys.
Yeah, totally. So everybody's got their own place, and I know a lot of guys like Tyler and Albie, and a lot of guys come to the States when they can, and if you don't ever make it that far, it's the best you can be here, and this is what you guys have. So, to be honest, everybody asks me, what do you think of the track? What do you think? I said, I've raced on tracks that are a lot worse than this, and for instance, Southwick is 1 minute and 50 lap time. This is, up to 2:11, above 2 minutes. So, if AMA came here and raced, we would all have to race here. So it's actually riding it. It's not so bad. Maybe a little bit one line, but if you can think and pass guys, it makes for good racing.
That's fantastic to have him here, and thanks very much, Ryan, for all of the input that you've given to these youngsters, including these guys who lined up now for the final heat of 125s. 15-second changes to 5, and we got a big battle expected at the front end. The championship here is wrapped up, remember. Dalton Fenter's he's actually got the number 1 plate on. You can see him in the middle of the screen, heading up towards turn 1. Mixer on the outside there. Good start from Miguel Duval. He comes around the outside, but it looks like Cam McClellan might have just squeezed through there on Dalton Fenter. No, actually it's Malimi. Malimi's got through there, and he's got to the front end and the whole shot. Good start there. Coming through, as you can see, Christian Saliers, Calvin Jean-Jacques in the mix as well. Miguel Duval fighting with them as they come out now onto the bottom section. Duval's actually up in the 3rd place. What a start there from Mixter. On his tail, pushing hard, as you can see there, the 114, and that is Talbot Verstaer. Also a phenomenal start once again from him. Hopefully he can keep at the front end. He's very good at the start, but tends to fall back during the heats of the racing. Look at that. Man, those whoops at the bottom end, they are huge. 33 meter on some of those gaps. And speaking of gaps, the gap being closed down now by the number 1 bike, looking for a way past. He's going side by side with Mlimi. Could be a change up there for the lead as they head to the top of the hill. I think Mlimi might have gone to 2nd place there. McClellan also closing down on Miguel Duval. Duval now in with a shot of the podium. And as they head down there, you can see, yes, McClellan and Duval fighting hard. And look at how the pressure's on. It's changed up at the front end. Fenter's at the front. Oh, big moment there from Miguel Duval. And here comes McClellan. Duval and McClellan going at it. Mixter wants to try and hang on to that podium position, but Cam McClellan's going to make him work hard for it. Behind that, Saliers, Calvin Jean-Jacques, Arnu Simon, Travis Goosen, also with a fantastic start. And now they start to mix it up in that mid-pack. Trudeau having some fun and games there with Sean Mumba, Brees Romans, and I think Ethan Siegel in there too. There's a name from the past in motocross. Good to have the youngster involved in 125s now. The 125s are starting to heat up. And I think the two Red Bull KTMs are going at it. Yes, there's a pass from McClellan. Has he been able to make it stick? Yes, he does. He gets through and Mlimi demoted down into third place. McClellan now goes down into FMF, looking to close things down on the leader. And the leader is the number 1 plate, Dalton Venter, as he heads up towards Thor. Mid-pack battles continue here. This is fantastic to see these mid-pack battles. Callum Marriott going at it there with Kieran Conway and Ethan Siegel. And they're going to try and sort things out. Calvin Jean-Jacques is closing down on that top 5. The big battle we need to watch out for is this. As we see Celias coming very close and up close and personal there with John Mlimi. The Yamaha man has closed things down there on the TRP KTM. Let's see if Dalton Venter can keep it all together now. He wants to try and finish up the season with 2 wins on the day just to secure that number 1 plate and just make it a swan song finish here for his championship season. He's going well at the moment, and that CRT Husqvarna is certainly flying high. Tavo Festaris dropped back slightly, so didn't expect to see him at the front end for too much longer. He had a fantastic start as always, but just drops back in the mid part of the race. And Mlimi's doing the same thing here, falling a little bit by the wayside here on Celias and into the clutches of Jean-Jacques. Maybe a little bit of rustiness there from Mlimi's point of view. Cam McClellan is certainly closing things down. He's just made a little bit of a bridge on that gap and slowly but surely finding his way to the front and onto the back end of Dalton Venter. Just down now with Mixter. Mixter's had a problem. I think Miguel Duval went down somewhere on track and has dropped out of that top 3 and top 4 fight he was in. No worries at all so far there for the CRT Husqvarna man, hanging on for the lead. And it looks like there's going to be some maneuvers here from Dalton Venter to try and make that victory all his own. And Mlimi, as I said, just maybe a bit rusty. Fighting with the 2 Yamahas. He's in the mix there with Celias and Jean-Jacques. Anu Simon not too far off the back end too. This is a nice run here as well from Brees Romans and from Callan Broski. Broski didn't have quite the start he wanted. And he's slowly but surely making his way now for a possible top 10. Well, the front end is starting to heat up as Cam McClellan uses that international experience he's had. He just gets better and better and better throughout the race. Miguel Duval on a flyer here, trying to get back up into that top 3. And remember, he's heading off to the Thor Minios in a couple of days' time. And slowly but surely looking for a chance now to go and do some international duties of his own. Pressure's on though, and the number 1 plate is soaking it up for now. But Cam McClellan is definitely applying pressure as they head up towards Fly onto the back end of Dalton Venter. Mlimi still with pressure from the Yamahas, and it's now the 7.5 machine diving through. Jean-Jacques going to make Mlimi drop down 1 position even further. Callum Marriott continuing his battle there with Sean Mumba, Adam Chunu. The top 15 honours up for grabs here between these 3 riders. They're also putting on a fantastic show, even though they're not at the front end of the field. Right through this pack of 125s, there's some great battles happening. Biggest one though is for the race win here. And can we see a bit of a change-up? Is there going to be a chance for McClellan to use that late race pace and possibly spoil the day there for Dalton Venter? And you can see Celias hanging on for 3rd spot at the moment, but there's a bit of pressure from behind because there's a big fight on there between Calvin Jean-Jacques and John Mlimi, and they're slowly but surely closing in there on the back end. Oh, he has a move for the lead. What a move there from McClellan. Just finding a way through, and it has a look in the air as well over that big monster. And you can see those 125s are taking huge strain over that big monster double. Not an easy maneuver to happen there, but the Red Bull KTM man has got to the front end now. Here comes that CRT Husqvarna. This is a championship rivalry of note for next year to watch out for. Remember, the championship is wrapped up here, but this is for race win and the final victory of the season. And that is a great move there from McClellan. And McClellan now pulling away during, he's just come through the 100% section. And where's Venter? Venter made a small mistake at the bottom in the modal jump and has lost him some ground. Oh, this is going to be a great finish to this one, there's no doubt about it. Look at that, Mlimi now closing in with Miguel Duval. The 2 of them going side by side. Oh, problems there. 777, Callum Broski crashing out. That's not what you want from the Ridgeway race ball man. Just a bit of a problem there. As McClellan starts his final lap. Oh, that's 2nd place now. That's 39. That is Christian Celias. There's Miguel Duval. Where is Venter? Venter's gone missing. He must have had a crash. There he is. At the top by 100%. He's gone down. And the ambulance on the sideline is not a good thing. There you can see his dad, Leon, just walking across and just making sure his life is okay. But I think he might have broken something there. And Venter's out of this. Which means McClellan's got a clean run here on this last lap to the line as he comes through the Tinswallow Racing bottom turn. In 2nd place, is it going to be Mlimi or is it going to be Duval or is it going to be Christian Celias? It's so close between these riders. Duval is up to 2nd place now. It's a fantastic ride here from Mixter. This is just going to bode well for him at Thor Minios. As they come up to the line, it is Cam McClellan to take the victory. He comes across the line with a superb victory. Looking back to see how far back his rivals are. Mixter comes through there, and look how close it was. Mlimi and Celias right on his tail as they cross the line there for 3rd and 4th. Overall results for the day, though, McLellan takes it ahead of him, Limi. Celia's in third place, Miguel Duval ahead of Calvin Jean-Jacques, Anu Simon, Travis Goosen, and Thabo Verster. Great to see the youngsters going at it full flight, and good luck to Miguel Duval and McLellan. And as you can see, they start to do a bit of water and some prep here, but in the background, a big Joburg thunderstorm is about to hit Terra, Topia. And there's a lot of concerned faces down in the MX1 gate. Good to have that man back. Blake Goodside, always good to have him on the grid. For Cal now looking just to wrap up third place in this championship. David Goosen could potentially spoil his day. Matty Milan and Tristan Purdon are on equal points heading into this final race. How much more pressure do you want? Goodside looking to rock and roll and standing by for a great start. There they are, lined up for the final time in 2019. The 15-second board is going to change to 5, and we're about to head to Bridgestone Corner. Who's going to get the whole shot? Gates drop. Great start from Goodside on the high line, but it's Matty Milan on the inside who looks like he could potentially spoil the day and get the whole shot. He's got the whole shot. David Goosen's right on his tail. That's going to help him out a huge amount. Where is Purdon? Purdon looking for a chance now. He's down in the third place by the looks of things as they head towards FMF. This is going to be an epic fight here, an epic battle to finish up the season. There you can see a tear-off just getting clear vision there through those Fox goggles as he heads up to the top end of the field. This is what it's going to be. David Goosen there in second place, Purdon in third, and Purdon has to get ahead. Purdon's got to try and find a way through on Goosen as quickly as he can. He cannot afford to lose this race to Matty Milan. They're on equal points, and there is a big championship up for grabs here. Look in the background, though. There's lots of lightning, and that thunderstorm is on its way here in a big way. Could potentially spoil the day here for this and just destroy this perfectly prepped track. If there's a big thunderstorm, the track is going to become treacherous. Down into OGO they go, and up towards the top of the hill one more time. Big step up as they come into that bottom section of the track. And right now, it's all about Matty Milan. Tristan Purdon hasn't had an answer yet to David Goosen. Goosen hanging on for second place. That's a huge, huge advantage for Matty Milan to have somebody between himself and his arch rival. He's not even looking back. He is concentrating fully on just taking this victory. Little glance to the side as he goes over the top there, just making sure everything's okay. Nice battle here between Cam Woodendal and Kevin Moran, and catching up with him in the break. Moran has got a broken finger, so he's riding with a little bit of a ginger hand there to see if he can keep it all together and potentially finish up top 10 in this championship overall. Purdon in third, trying to close down. For Carl is 4. The Summit Racing man just looking to wrap up that third place in this championship. Look in the background, massive lightning. That is huge. Big lightning and a huge storm in the background. And there's a lot of concern on the sideline. Let's see whether or not Matty Milan can beat the rain and beat everybody else in this championship. Not only fighting with his arch rivals, but now fighting with the elements as well. As we see a big move here from Purdon on Goosen, closing that gap down big time. I think Tristan Purdon realizes that Matty Milan is getting away too far ahead. He cannot afford to lose this race to Milan. It'll lose him the championship. They are on equal points, and there is nothing left to play for. And you can see in the background, there is big thunder and big lightning in the background as well, and that is a big concern for everybody around this track. The biggest concern right now for David Goosen is the big pace that we're seeing at the bottom end of the circuit here from Tristan Purdon, making up about 20 meters every time he does the quad and double on those whoops at the bottom section by the river. And he's right there with Goosen. We just saw it in the foreground shot. Milan hangs on. We just see them. Yeah, there we go. Ooh, is there a possible change up there? I think Purdon might have got through. Purdon might be up to second place. Let's get confirmation of that as you see Milan coming through. Stand by in the dust any second now. Here we go. Purdon's up to second. He's got to second place. He's now trying to close that gap down on Matty Milan. Look at how that track is ripped up. It is perfect for motocross. Absolutely brilliant job they've done here with the track preparation. And a great run from the 121 of Dylan Mostert. He's fighting there with Goodside as Adam Back just gets out their way. Moran and Udendal continue their fight from the first heat. To see Kevin Moran on that second gear Kawasaki. And slowly but surely, that's Cam Woodendal who's closing in on him. The biggest gap that's been closed down right now is Tristan Purdon on Milan. Milan has not looked back once yet, but I think with the pit boards, he's going to realize that the 41 Red Bull KTM is closing him down. Oh, look at this. Big concerns on the sideline here, and you can see big consultations. Wyatt Avis chatting to Lloyd and deciding whether or not they've got to pull out a red flag or not, potentially because of hazardous conditions and weather conditions. Milan, he's gone down. Milan has lost his peak again. Matty Milan has gone down and Purdon's at the front. So Milan has got up and riding again, but there is a potential change up here for the lead of this race. Tristan Purdon is going to come across the line here, and look at this. Purdon absolutely hauling. And he's in front of Matty Milan now. So this is a big change up. The championship rivalry has swapped out once again. Tristan Purdon now leads out. And this is big for this championship. Milan after that crash, and potentially a red flag going to be shown here. Milan has gone down. It's all going to come down to whether or not the red flag comes out on this lap or on the previous one, because they always go one lap back after a red flag situation. And who's going to have crossed the line in time? We'll have to wait and see. David Goosen still fighting for third. The red flag comes out. Cam Woodendal and Tristan Burden. It comes out just before Tristan Burden. Is that going to have a big effect on this championship? While the Red Bull KTM team think he's won the championship, we're not quite sure. We'll have to wait and see as they sort things out afterwards. The heat win, though, is given to Matty Milan over Tristan Burden and Lloyd Verkuil. After the red flag had come out, they always go that lap back, which means Milan was leading on the previous lap. What a way to finish the season. Not only was there championship rivalry, but the elements came into play as well. And it looks like this championship is going to have to go to a court of appeal to be sorted out and crown the 2019 450 champion. And after all that drama, we cannot wait for 2020 to see who's going to run the number one plate in MX1s. We'll see you next year. And from the TRP National Championships, take care. The TRP National Motocross Action is proudly brought to you by Out of Africa Group. Create, construct, growth. Sinswalo Lodges, where else in the world? And all our associate sponsors.